Because in order for you to know your purpose, you have to first not know your purpose. If you are a person who you just feel lost in this world, you feel like you don't know who you are, what your purpose is, and why you're even here. If you feel less than, you feel unworthy, you feel like you cannot um, go on or move further, or you've been angry or upset or confused, this episode is for you. And action. How you would? It's your girl Connie, and you are back watching another episode of A Freed Mind, where we take back the control of our minds and our realities. And to all my new free minders, if you would, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so that way you'll be ready to tap in when it's time to tap in. And to all my old free minders, I love y'all and I thank y'all so much. Now, let's get straight into this episode. This is a PSA for anybody who is either 19, 18 years old, or you late 30s. If you are a person who you just feel lost in this world, you feel like you don't know who you are, what your purpose is, and why you're even here. If you feel less than, you feel unworthy, you feel like you cannot go on or move further, or you've been angry or upset or confused, this episode is for you. Now, I first want to share with you guys that everybody goes through this phase in their life. It does not matter how old you are or what you've been through. I've noticed for myself that around the age of 18, 19 years old, I went through this phase of feeling lost, feeling unworthy, feeling purposeless, feeling like I just didn't belong anywhere at all whatsoever. And I want to say that every human, all of us, we go through these experiences. And I want to say that it takes for you to not know who you are for you to know who you are. So you have to go through a phase of trying to figure it out. We don't come here as being spiritual beings entering into a human form, remembering exactly who we are. We forget everything that is when we enter into our human form. And with our human forms, we go through life and experience different things, and we get to a point where we feel how I just said we feel. And you can also be any age. Like, that's why I said if you in your 30s, early 30s, whatever age it is, but specifically this video is for the ones that are young, that are 18, 19, you just got out of high school, you in college, you might be confused about the major you taking, or being in college, or what do you want to do with your life, who do you want to be, what do you want to be. And first and foremost, I want to say that whatever it is career wise that you decide or that you find out for yourself, that is not who you are. That is not the person that you are. That is not your foundation. That is not what makes you who you are. That is literally just a label. That is literally just a mask that you put on. You put on these different masks all the time. You could be a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, an uncle. You could be a doctor, a dog, a chef. You can be anything. I don't even know why I said dog, but still, you can be whatever, but that is literally just a mask. That is not who you are. And so I want to say that our life's purpose. Well, hold on. Before I get into our life's purpose, because I'm going to tell y'all what our life's purpose is. So you're going to have to tune in and stay watching to figure out what that is. If you lost, baby, if you're lost, then stay tuned. Okay? Now, I just want to share with y'all that when I was 18, 19 years old, I most people don't know this, but I lived in first my mother moved to Atlanta. Um, I just graduated high school, and my mother was gone. I was living in a home with absolutely no lights, no water, nothing. To make it even worse, I stayed in that home during the winter months, so it was extremely cold. Um, and this was my childhood home that I grew up in, but I experienced my time being in this home during my high school years and my middle school years. And for that home to turn into what it turned into was just like trauma for me. And this is not me blaming this on anybody in my family or anything like that. I'm just explaining to you guys the mental state and environment that I was in, and what led me to feeling lost, what led me to feeling like I don't know why I'm here. I ended up moving with my big sister. And at the time, my big sister just had a baby. And when she had the baby, I asked her, I said, Paris, my big sister's name is Paris. I said, Paris, I know you just had this baby. It was my first niece. I said, can I please come and stay with you? Because when my sister had that baby, I looked at that baby and I thought, this is the only thing that is literally bringing me joy right now. And being around that baby, that was really the only thing that made me happy. It was the only thing that made me feel some sort of joy, because I was in such a dark space. And before I even moved to that house, because I'm going all over the place with the story, before I moved to that house, I worked at UPS night shift, and I worked at night shift because I didn't want to sleep in that house at nighttime. I wanted to be able to be there during the daytime where the sun was out, where it would have some sort of a heat there. And so that's why I worked the night shift. But it was so much going on all at once. And I felt so lost and so just, I felt so lost, so unworthy, so purposeless. I felt like um, both of my sisters at the time, they had kids. I didn't have any kids. I felt like the only true love that I could receive would be from having a kid, and I was just trying to have a child, and at 18 years old thinking if I have a kid everything will be perfect. I just felt so lost. And I remember one specific day I was at work at UPS, and I went into the break room. The break room was filled with people. The break room was so small, but everybody seemed to be there at that time. And I was sitting there, and I thought to myself, I said, Connie, you need to pray. I got on the floor. I was sitting on a bench in the break room. I got on the floor on my hands and my knees, and I just started praying, asking God, please get me out of this situation. Please help me. Please help me figure this out. And in at that time, everybody was just staring at me, and I was like, I do not care. I need God to come and help me. Please come and help me and save me from the situation. And I ended up finishing my prayer and moving, and then I ended up moving with my sister at that time, like I said, my big sister. And even then, still living in with my big sister, I found some sort of joy with being around my brand new niece. That is the only thing that brought me joy. But I still was feeling lost and helpless and feeling unworthy. And I just kept, every day, I kept asking God. I'm like, I'm praying on my hands and knees. I was like, God, please tell me, why am I here? What is my purpose? What am I here to do? Why am I here? Why am I here? What is going on? If I'm not supposed to be here, then just let me die, let me go. And I feel like everyone that is 18, 19 years old, we go through this phase of, why am I here? What am I supposed to do? I feel like at 18 and 19 years old, we don't know who we are. We are still literally teenagers. Even though we may be legal in some sense, we're still teenagers at 18 and 19 years old. And we don't know. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we want. We don't know what we like. And I didn't know what I liked and what I wanted and who I was for 5 years more going down the line. You know what I mean? Like it still was trying to figure that out. And so I want to say our life's purpose on this earth is literally to experience everything. It's to experience the ups and the downs. It's to experience the negative experiences and the positive experiences. It's to experience every emotion created. God created us in the likeness of himself. We are literally God having a human experience. And what humans do that God cannot do without us is to feel every experience that there is, whether that be experiencing death, experiencing anything good or bad. And with us having our life's purpose being to experience, of course, it can be more so uniquely defined for each individual, what that may look like to experience it and how to experience it and what that feels like to experience. The sole purpose and foundation is for us to experience. So we have people out here who experience the lowest of the lowest of the lowest experiences on earth, but that is just God experiencing his own creation. And it's never a situation where you have to stay in that low experience. You can always shift. Life is about ups and downs. Life never stays the same on one path. You'll have a time where you're going through a low moment. You'll have a time where you go through a high moment, but you will never, ever, 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 ever stay in one path. You will always go like this. You know what I mean? And so our life's purpose is to experience life. And in experiencing negative things and things that we don't want, there's always a gift within experiencing it. And I want to say to the young girls, boys, whoever is watching this, if you're going through a hard time where you feel lost, where you feel purposeless, like you don't have a purpose, you don't know what your purpose is, that is literally okay for you to feel that right now. It's okay for you to feel that at 30 years old. It's okay for you to feel that at 40 years old. It's okay to feel those emotions of feeling lost and feeling like you don't know your purpose. That's okay, because in order for you to know your purpose, you have to first not know your purpose. You have to first go through those experiences and those emotions of what it feels like to not know. Because in order for you to know who you are, you have to know who you not are. And when I say that, I say you have to know that you are not this negative person. You have to know that you are not worthy. You have to know that you are I was on a roll. You have to know that you are not these things that you don't want to be, for you to say, hey, I know that I'm not unworthy, so that allows me to know that I am worthy. If you get what I mean, we don't come into this world knowing who we are. And that is because our soul's purpose is to experience. And without the experience, how do you know that you're not this experience? How do you know that you are this experience if you didn't go through this one? So That's the beautiful thing in experiencing the negative things that are occurring in this world. That's the beautiful thing about experiencing it, because without those experiences, you won't know the truth. If I didn't go through feeling purposeless, feeling unwanted, if I didn't go through those moments of feeling lost and feeling like I was unworthy of my desires, if I did not go through these experiences of trying to figure out who I am by adapting my friends' personalities and my friends' likes, and people around me, just taking little things from each person that came into my life, and and trying to instill that in myself and project those things out, I would never know that, hey, wait, maybe I actually don't like drill music. Maybe I don't like eating this type of food. Maybe I want to eat healthier. Maybe I don't like um not having boundaries. Maybe I don't like feeling unworthy. So now I'm going to do things that make me feel worthy, or I surround myself around people who make me feel worthy. You can't you cannot know who you are until you experience who you are not. Like, if y'all understand what I'm saying, tell me in the comments you understand. Say, I understand. I get it. Or tell me, say, hey, this is a new perspective I've never heard of before. Let me know if you've ever experienced this perspective before. Because I think this is a great tool to take and let it be a guide that says, hey, I'm going through this negative experience right now. But what I'm learning is that I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not who they say I am, I'm not what I think I am right now in this experience. I actually want this experience. I want to be that. I like this. So I'm going to go ahead and now implement these new characteristics and these new ideas into who I am. And I'm going to exude that out into the world. So that way now I feel as if I am who I truly am. And I'm now experiencing the reality I want to experience. Because now I can actually look at the things that I like and the things that I want. And I can now, as being God, experience the better side of all of God's creation. So if you are 18, 19, 30, 40, 50, 60, however old you are, and you are going through this, I need you to understand that you are literally not your circumstance. You are not your environment. You are not your situation. You are not your debt. You are not any of these things. That is not who you are. Who you are is God having a human experience. Who you are and your purpose here is to experience. And in that, that does not mean that you have to experience the lower end of the stick. You can always shift to experience the higher end of the stick. It's all about what are you going to do to change that. The experience that you go through, are you going to learn from them? Are you going to actually experience them and learn from them? Because that is how you actually shift into the higher end of the stick. So that's the thing. There's the saying, you can you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. You can't make them drink it. So each experience is a learning lesson. Each thing that you go through is a learning lesson, and for you to learn something about the experience, and you learn it about you, and you learn about who you are, and what to define yourself as. And yeah, I just pretty much just wanted to let y'all know that, because right now my little sister is 18, 19 years old, and she's talking about she's angry right now, and I can only imagine what I went through at 18 and 19. And I wished I had somebody to tell me that, hey, what you're going through right now, it's just an experience for you to learn something. It's just that. That's all that it is. It's not who you are. It's not none of those things that you think it is. Because who you are is God, and your purpose here is to experience life. And you have the power to change your experiences as they come. You have the power to create them as they come. That's the whole point of God experiencing life as a human on earth, is to experience, to feel what these things feel like. God wants to feel. God literally wants to feel. Our soul literally wants to feel each emotion, each experience. And each emotion means it could be a negative emotion or it could be a positive emotion, but God wants to experience that. And He's experiencing it through us. Y'all, I think I said a word now. So, if you have tuned in to another episode of A Freed Mind, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so that way you'll be ready to tap in when it's time to tap in. And I will see you guys next time.